Hello guys, it's good to be back here. In our last video we talked about how to install Hyper-V, and then we went forward to provision a virtual machine on Hyper-V, and we installed the Microsoft Windows Server 2016 on that virtual machine, and you can see it right here. And today we are going to do something different. We're going to install a Linux distribution, the Ubuntu operating system, on a virtual machine on Hyper-V. So I just want to point out that you can see that this virtual machine is in a state called saved, because we had paused any activity, the run state has been saved. Like it's like saying you're hibernating your computer, and so everything is saved until whenever you want to pick it up again. So there are options. You can start the VM, and there are options to shut down the VM and turn on the VM. That's if they are in a different state. But for now, it's safe. Just try to let you know that it's not turned off. Whatever was happening here has been saved. Going forward, let's just create a new VM. So we're going to create a new VM here. Just click on new, and then we choose virtual machine. And here the new wizard machine, the new virtual machine wizard pops up, and then we can just click on next. You can go through this at your time. Next, you should give it a name. So I'm going to call it the Oswotech Ubuntu. Okay, just a simple name. And I want to choose the preferred location. I would like to store this in the location I store every other VM. So I just go right there and just put Hyper-V and then select that. So it's going to be there, and then next. And we talked about generation 1 and generation 2 operating systems, and we said that generation 1 supports 32-bit and 64-bit guest operating systems, while generation 2 supports just 64-bit operating system, and it has a better other advanced features like the UEFI based firmware, and this comes with secure boot and other beautiful security features. Then you should note that if you choose either of this, you cannot come back to change it. It stays and you can change it. That's the caution here. Once a virtual machine has been created, you cannot change its generation. But for this case, we're going to use a generation 2 for this demo. Let's go forward, and here we are asked to assign the memory, and this is the RAM size that is going to be allotted to this VM. So remember, you cannot give what you don't have. So this is going to be borrowed from the host computer. Just to show, I'm just going to come to Task Manager and see the RAM that we have available. So come to Performance and Memory. You can see this is 32 gig RAM on this PC, but what we have available is about 22. I'm just going to give it 2 gig RAM for this case. So we cannot give more than what we have. So in this case, I'm just going to give it 2 gig RAM, 2048 megabytes as 2 gig, and there's a checkbox here, and this is just for you to know that if you check this box, it means that when your virtual machine is running, it doesn't use all the allotted RAM size. It only takes what it needs until it reaches the cap, which is 2 gig. So if it needs like 800, it will run with 800. If it needs 900, it will take more until when it gets to the cap. It cannot take more than the cap. So if you do not check this box, it just means that this PC is always going to be running with, it's going to just take the 2 gig at once from your physical computer, my PC, my physical computer. So, and I'm just going to check this so I can have some leverage with my RAM size. Click on next, and here we see that we're asked to configure networking. So remember, virtual machines should be able to communicate. Every device should be able to communicate. So I'm going to attach this to our pre-created switch, the Oswotech virtual switch. So we're going to click on this and click on next. Our previous VM was also attached to that network. And here we're supposed to create our virtual hard disk. Now we need a virtual hard disk where we can save our files, where we can run our operating system from. And this is going to be the name by default, and this is going to be the location, similar to where I'm going to put my VM. And then next thing, I'm going to choose the size of that virtual hard disk. I'm going to use 30 gigabyte. And if you have an existing virtual hard disk, you can just click on this and point to the location where it is located. And you can also attach a virtual hard disk later, but I just want to do this right now. So I'm going to click on next, and here you are asked to attach your operating system file, the image file. So I do have a bootable image file, so I'm going to choose this option. But you can also choose to do this later on. And if you want to install from a network-based installation server, you can click this option. But for this demo, we're going to focus on this now. So I'm going to find the file, the image file, the ISO file for Ubuntu. But we're going to be running the Ubuntu, Desktop, not the live server, because this has a GUI and we want to just have a good feel of how it looks like. So I'm going to click on Ubuntu Desktop and then open and then attach that, and next here you have an overview, a summary of everything you've done, the name of the VM, the generation, the memory space, the network switch that it is attached to, the hard disk location, where the operating system will be installing from, and then we can just do finish. It is creating the virtual machine right now. So that is done. So you can see now that the state here is off. This VM is off. So for us to start, you can just double click, or you can connect or start this VM from here. So I'm just going to double click in this case, and then we can start our VM. So remember what I said in the last video, that once we see this, we realize that we cannot go forward with this. There's supposed to be a way for us to boot this. So I'm going to do this one more time. So you see, it's showing us the same thing. Now you could try and try, but the reason for this is because we're using a generation 2 virtual machine. So it just means that it has the feature of safe boot, secure boot, sorry. And secure boot is it just ensures that the bootloader has a registered and recognized bootable file. So we're going to go to the settings and find and check this out. So if you come here to settings, we can just see here that we have security, so secure bootloader enabled. So if you want to change this, we have to turn off that virtual machine from running. So I'm going to come back here. So I'm going to just cancel and come here and just close this, and okay, so shut it down. So we just shut down, turn off this time because we've already done that. And so I'm just going to turn off and wait for that to go off. So we want to change the state of that setting. But we have an error here. That's not the best practice though. So also just shut down. So let's come here to settings and then security. So you see Microsoft Windows. This is the default option, the template that is used. So what this just means is that it's a security standard that it just ensures that every image file that is going to be run on virtual machines are secure and trusted. They are trusted by Microsoft. Now this is just for Microsoft operating systems, but when it comes to using maybe Linux distributions that support secure boot, we have like Ubuntu, Debian, and Fedora. You just have to choose the second option here. So we have Microsoft UEFI Certificate Authority. So here, the secure bootloader template allows bootloaders of these various Linux distributions to be able to run and recognizes their certificates. I'm going to choose this option and then apply. Once I apply this and do OK, and we'll try to run this again. So I'm going to start now. Let's see what happens. So you can see we can now go forward with this. So I just want to install Ubuntu. So I'm just going to click on enter and then we can let it run. It's going to take a little while. So it's coming up, it's going to install, and I don't know how long this will take. So let's just watch how long. I'm going to let you know how long it is once it's done. So like I said before, the time it takes for this to happen depends on a few things. Just the capacity of your host PC. So this is going to take a while, and you just know that that is running. Just give it some time, and we can just see here. Now that this VM is running, you can see you have other options. You can turn off the VM. This is just like you trying to force it to go off. Like just pressing the power button until it goes off, that kind of thing. And this is shutdown. This is traditional way, and then you can just save a state. So you can just pause your VM or save the state, pause to continue, and then save a state, just like hibernating your virtual machine. So this is going to continue, and we're just going to sit back and just watch what happens for a bit. And just like that, we're here, so we can just move with our VM. So this is the interface, and you can see files, app center, trash, and this took approximately 2 minutes on my PC. So you can just shut this down. So this is, we just successfully installed the Ubuntu virtual machine operating system on our virtual machine on Hyper-V. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.